All right. Here we go. Finally got the Redmax back together. We're calling it Redmax number 2. This is the one that I originally messed around with and was trying to port for forest. And I had problems with it across the board. We'll just say that. I did find that it's leaking a little bit of air on the PTO side. Ooh, can't forget to do that. Clutch isn't tight, so. But I had it under a lot of pressure, and I just can't help but think that was never the problem. I am going to tear this apart and put crank stuffers in it. So I'm going to just give it a run and see how it reacts right now, right here. And this is with the newly ported cylinder, now that I've learned a little bit more about the 5 series and how the transfers work. The numbers, we are at 80 on the intake side. I striped the intake side so that I would get better laminar flow, I believe is what it's called. The exhaust is at 102, and the transfers, depending on how you read them, are either at 111 or at 109. So I don't know. We'll see. We're learning here. We're messing around. You know. Yeah. There we go. So this will be the very first startup. And I don't even know if it's going to start. So here we go. We're going to give it a shot. Oh, I cut the squish. I took 40 thousandths out of the squish and dropped the base. We're at 22 thousandths on the Okay, so I'm gonna grab a different chain, or actually no, I'll just sharpen this one. I'm gonna go sharpen this chain because I feel like it's just a little bit dull. It's not slowing down the saw at all. I mean, the chips look good and everything, and it is still sharp. But you know, I do these tests, whether it's a perfect metric or not is irrelevant. This is the way that I do it. And so I have a feel for the saw. All right, I was actually pushing down pretty substantially there. That was not just a smooth little glide. That's what makes me think that the chain needs to be touched up a little bit. But I shit you not, no timing advance or anything has been done yet. I just was doing 12,800 RPMs right there. That's fast. Now let's go sharpen the chain and see what we come up with, because that's running great. Okay. All right, so I'm back. Sadly, I realized that my mic had turned off while I was sharpening the chain. And so that last portion had no audio to it. But what I was saying, I was very excited because with the freshly sharpened chain, it did pull it down, right? But we were still cutting, I can't even remember. Jeez, I hate that. But I think it was cutting around 11.8 in this. And then whenever I dogged it in, it did drop into the 9,000s, but it's hard to read whenever you're doing that because of the amount of pressure. You can make anything stop. So whenever I'm dogging it in, trying to get my tack readings, I'm trying to have a balance of a proper dog in, what's it going to pull at? And it was still pulling in the around 10.2 range, I believe. I can't remember, honestly. I got a lot of stuff going on in my head when I'm doing this stuff, but it's still cutting blazing fast. This thing has never ran like this before. I feel like I got the transfers too high because I just do. But now we got the timing advance. Let's see if it's faster with the advance. $11,600 to $12,000 right there. So let's see what it'll do dogged in. Low 10,000 range. All right, so here's the speed test. And it still doesn't even have the crank stuffers. That is the best it has ever run by a long shot. I don't think that it has the torque. I mean, it's good. It's got plenty of torque. It's got plenty of torque. But I don't think it has the torque of the 4910s that I build. But I definitely think it's got more speed. That thing is running slick. I mean, that is very, 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 very nice. Very happy with that. And I really look forward to the next steps. Now, seeing how my audio wasn't on in the last recording session, what I was saying was about the high transfers. I do feel like I got them a little bit high because of restart issues, as well as, I mean, it's not bad. High idle. I mean, it'll start right now, or will it? But you high idle it. Not ideal, and I'm not liking that. Also, I don't think that I got this put together quite right. But as it is, we're going to proceed forward. But to fix these transfers, right? I'm not going to change anything on the cylinder. I'm just going to open up the muffler more because it's only got a 5/8 inch pipe just put in there. This muffler is not gutted, nothing like that. So with a properly gutted muffler and a 3/4 inch pipe, I think that we'll have any issues that was going on with the transfers being a little too high negated. Yeah, it's running great. So moving on to the next step, and we'll see where we go from here. Woo! Okay, so highly experimental next step. Top secret. We're going to see what this does. Probably going to need to let it tune itself and everything. We'll just see. Yes, absolutely. That's smoking fast. Let's grab something else and compare it to something else. I'll just grab what I can. Wow, that thing's hauling. Okay, 562 XP. Bone stock, 24-inch bar, I know, but it also has a very nice, fast-cutting, square ground chain on it. Let's just see. Here we go. Which one's faster? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think that maybe that chain is faster, but you'll have to take it for what it is right there. This is just a quick comparison of how closely these things measure up against each other. I just wanted to grab something quick that I knew had fuel in it and would be a good measuring stick to see how much progress we have made with this saw right here. And again, I still do not have the crank stuffers in. It will get faster than that. That's very cool. It's cutting very, very, very well. Very, 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 very well. And if it was able to beat that 562, that's saying something. Because this is not exactly small wood. You know, that's an 18-inch bar, and I'm not getting all the way through it. So, very nice. And it's still, I've got to keep throwing this out there. It still does not have the crank stuffers. It will be considerably faster whenever I get the crank stuffers in there. And this is the one that I'm building just to be a regular saw. So I am extremely happy about this. The other Redmax is the one that's still sitting right there with the red bar scabbard. That's the one with the big open exhaust, the one that I planned on racing at Sawfest, which, by the way, I got into that and took the flywheel off of it for the advanced timing flywheel, which it seems like I got a little bit too much advanced. Were you guys hearing that popcorn? But anyways, that's the one that I was always planning on like making crazy. And so this one that I'm in this video messing with is where I hoped that one would eventually be at. So I have definitely, with the help of others, absolutely, I have far surpassed what I thought was going to be capable with this saw without the crank stuffers. It's really blazing. And it just beat that 562, and that 562 is wearing a square grind, the one that Smitty did a video on that he was like, I love it so much. It's the best square grind I've ever come across. This is made by the same guy, the same style. That chain cuts. I mean, really, really, really cuts. And we just beat a 562, which is the fastest with the chain that I sharpened. This is, the 562 is far and away the fastest stock 60cc saw ever. And it just got beat by a little 50cc Redmax that doesn't even have the stuffers yet. So, am I happy? Yes, I'm extremely happy. We have done it finally. Oh man, I am very happy about this. And I even screwed up places on that port job. I screwed the pooch on a couple different things, and it's still running that's just, all that is a muffler mod. I drilled a hole. That's all I did. I drilled a hole. I think I might have cleaned out inside there a little bit right where I drilled the hole. And I just put a 5/8 pipe out. That's it. That muffler is not gutted, nothing. If I was actually trying to get a muffler that would give me more power and speed, that ain't the way that I would do it. I wanted this thing to still be reasonably quiet. So there's a lot of things going on with this build that are teaching me so much. And I'm like, wow, we can only go up from here. You know, this is fantastic. Fantastic news and build quality. Yeah. In a very, very, very similar size log. Well, you know, I'll put it in right here. I'll be able to find footage of my 372 clone saw that took 3rd place in Clone Wars. And I'll match up, you know, we'll just see. Different log, but similar size. And we'll see how close this little 50cc saw is to that 3rd place winning 372 clone saw. So let's just see. So I know it's not an apples to apples comparison. That is not the same log. And the one for the 372 was slightly larger because the Redmax has a 18-inch bar on it. Well, shoot. I know the Johnson Red with a 16-inch bar would not go across the log that the farm hack is cutting in. But would an 18-inch bar go across it? I don't. They're really similar in size. Really similar in size. And so, yeah. Did it. High fives all around. Yay. It's really smoking fast. And surprisingly, that limited coil don't mean jack shit. I mean, what's it limited to? 13,000 RPMs? I don't know. 13.5? I don't know what they're limited to. I know that they're limited. And I've found this in a lot of cases. A lot of people want to go around that limited coil. Well, for most cases, their limit is so high, you're never going to hit that in the wood anyways. So what's the point? But now, with that one up there, whenever it's done, I might hit the limit, and that might be slowing me down. But I don't know. With this one, I mean, this. Do I even want to put crank stuffers in it? I don't know. I mean, because this one was just always going to be just a simple work saw, and I think for that level right there, that standard, it's freaking off the charts awesome. It's running so good. And in the future, you know, I mean, I can't do it all in one day, but I'll put it up against the Thunder Kit and see. That'll be a really good test. You know, I mean, yeah, do I feel like it's going to beat the Thunder Kitten? Absolutely. It's going to beat it. But I don't know about how much. But anyways, it's a good metric to measure by. And because I have the Thunder Kitten, and Charlie has had so many things ported, or he has ported so many things and then had them dynoed, that we pretty much know that build that Charlie made for me is a 5.5 horsepower build. So this little Redmax, yeah, it's probably going to be 5.8 horsepower, maybe. I don't know. Those numbers I know don't mean a whole lot, but yeah, moving in the right direction. What does a 562 dyno at on Joe's dyno? I'm not 100% sure. But I think they're around 6 horsepower on Joe's dyno. And then 572's definitely got more power, but this Redmax is cutting faster. So it's got a smaller chain on it, got 325 chain on it and everything like that. It's not going to make the same power as that 562, but it is cutting faster. And imagine if I was only cutting 9x9 wood. You know, this right here, that log is a good 16 inches, you know, so it's substantial for a little 50cc saw to be pushed through, and it's running great. All right, hope you dug it, and there you have it.